Guys, this is David, and welcome to an unedited, off-the-cuff, first-hand impression and review of Ys 9 Monstrum Nox. This came in the mail about 3 or 4 days ago, but I really didn't have a chance to play all that much of it until yesterday. Ken started traveling for work again, so he's out of town, which gave me pretty much all day long yesterday to sit down with the game, and I played from about 2 in the afternoon till about 11:30 at night. I wanted to go to bed around 9:30, and I just couldn't put the game down. It's just that good. So, look, my Chris Tales review and impression went over so well, I thought I'd do the same sort of thing here with a completely unedited, unscripted, just kind of review and impression of my thoughts of Ys 9 after playing for roughly 8 to 10 hours. Enjoy. The first thing that you're going to notice about the game, if you're a fan like me, is that it has a much darker tone than any of the other Ys games. Most of the other ones, you're outdoors, you're kind of like in the sunshine, romping through the wilderness. Here, you're inside of a prison. You literally just wake up and you're being interrogated inside of a prison. It actually kind of reminded me of the opening to Persona 5, except still there, it was just a bit more dark. So of course you have to escape. And in the midst of escaping, this random woman comes over to you and she curses you. And she calls you the Crimson King and she turns you into a monstrum, so you have special powers. And a lot of the times, whenever you're playing games like this, you don't get like the cool powers until, 5-10 hours into the game. So I really did appreciate that you got like cool stuff like warping around, zipping back and forth, and double jumping, like right from the get-go. And being cursed, it kind of turned the whole Ys trope on its head. You almost feel like you're not the hero of the story, you kind of feel like you're the antagonist. And in that way, it reminded me of Tales of Berseria, so another great game right there. Once you do get out of the prison, you have a flashback to 10 days ago with Dogi, whenever you entered the city, and my first notice is that Dogi looked old. I mean, after seeing him in Ys 8, where he was like ridiculously hot, seeing him just kind of look a little bit older here, that was kind of a drag, to be honest with you. Then they mentioned that they were at Siren, and then more recently, Altago. So I'm guessing that, Ys 8 occurred, then Ys 7 occurred, then Ys 9 is more than likely the most recent Ys series there as far as chronological order is concerned. So of course you're now escaped from the prison, you're going around, you're being chased by guards, and then you run into this old abandoned inn, which you then make your home base, of course. Otherwise, you really can't leave the city. There are barriers all over the place, and it's not going to let you leave. The curse is forcing you inside the city. So then you wonder, okay, well, how do I get out? How do I explore? The city is going to open up to you piece by piece, kind of like region by region. And you're going to go around and, of course, map the entire city, because this is an Ys game. You have to map. Ever since Celceta and 7, they put in that side quest, and you're forced to do it. And that is one thing that I think is kind of a drag. Like, mapping is one thing, seeing everything is one thing, but having to hug every single corner to get every single last percentage completion of the map is a big drag. I wish that they would fix that mapping issues that they have. But anyway, in order to get out of the city or break down these barriers, you're going to have to fight all these monsters who are stuck inside these little vortexes. So you just go over to the vortex, the monsters will appear, you beat them up, it takes 5 seconds, and then you'll get some more Nox. And once you get 100 Nox, you are able to move on to the next portion of the town. A quicker way to break down barriers are fulfilling side quests. And in this way, the side quests aren't really side quests. They're kind of mandatory side quests. It reminds me a lot of Solita Robo for the Nintendo DS, where they said that there were side quests, but they really weren't side quests. You had to do them anyway. But honestly, it's not that big of a deal. The side quests aren't that involved, and you do get rather nice rewards for them. Also, as you defeat all the little small vortexes, every once in a while a little treasure chest will pop up, and then you'll get a nice reward for, defeating the monsters, so that's kind of nice. Once you get 100 Nox and you're able to move on to the next portion of the city, a large vortex is going to come, and then you and 5 other monstrums are going to kind of get like teleported into the vortex, and then a kind of tower defense game begins where you have all these monsters going towards this crystal, and you and the 5 other monstrums have to kill them and not let them get to the crystal. So it's kind of interesting. It's kind of nice. There's more exploration than battling as far as the town is concerned. When you are exploring the town, there are tons of treasures and things to find. There are landmarks to find. There's these little blue azure petals to find. There's treasures all over the place, graffiti, everything to find. It is a massive collect-a-thon. And honestly, at first, whenever Adol is just alone, I kind of felt that it was a drag, and I was like, really? I want to get out of the city, I want to look around, I want to go out into the wilderness and explore just like in the other Ys games. But then, after about one other dungeon, you get another monstrum who joins you, and she has a particular gift which allows you to walk up walls vertically and onto roofs, and you end up feeling so powerful. You feel like a superhero, and the game becomes so much fun. So let's talk about that, the gifts. Each monstrum has their own gift, and Adol's is kind of crummy, to be honest with you. Basically, if you see these little, like, gargoyle statues, you can warp to them. It's almost like you're, like, hook shocking across, and you can kind of, like, zip back and forth around a place. But, the next monstrum's like, she's able to just walk up walls, and you are able to go everywhere. You are going to be ending up spending more time on rooftops, jumping around, feeling like a badass superhero than you are on the ground. And it's kind of funny, because even the townsfolk will interact with you, and they'll be like, oh my gosh, there's a monstrum, look at that. And it's just kind of funny, and I really do like that. However, because of all the times that you spend kind of on the Z-axis, going up and down, it is kind of difficult to find various treasures. You're going to continuously see treasure chests on the mini-map, and then your characters are going to be like, oh look, hey, there's a treasure! And you, the player, are going to be like, where? I don't see the treasure. Where? You're constantly seeing treasures on the mini-map and not knowing where they are, because it might be underneath you, it might be above you. You really, really, really have to look around for all of these treasures. Also, the dungeon, not only is the city exploration involved, the dungeons are involved as well, because you have to use all of your gifts constantly to traverse throughout these dungeons. And again, with treasure kind of being hard to find because of that Z-axis, you will be spending a lot of times in them. So, I've played roughly 10 or so hours, I would say anywhere between 6 to 10 hours of the game I have played. I pretty much spent all day long yesterday playing, and I made it up to getting the 3rd monstrum onto my party. And that brings me to the chapter system of the game. Each time that you get to a new area of the town, and then you complete the next dungeon, you get the next monstrum, you will essentially complete a chapter. And right whenever you think, okay, well, I completed the chapter, this would be a great time to save and turn off the game hooks you back in. Because it flashes you back to Adol in prison. And you're like, wait, how is Adol in prison? Adol is out of prison. But then you might think, okay, well, maybe this is a flashback on where he was in prison and now he's not. But then you're like, no, because they talk about stuff that you're doing right then and there. So then you're like thinking, man, I really want to know why he's in prison. Are there 2 Adols? Like, what is going on here? It really is a really good hook, and it makes me want to keep on playing more. I've had a lot of fun with the Ys series throughout my entire life, but I've got to say this one, like, they are getting to where they're going. They are doing a great job with this, and I can't wait to keep on playing. Hope that you guys enjoyed this as much as I do, and have a good day.